Welcome back to Ruck and Roll, and today we're going to be talking about Owen Farrell, and he got 6 weeks suspension for hold on, no, I mean 0. I'm going to show you more than one instance where I can tell you, in my opinion, Owen Farrell is maliciously going in to take these players out. Sometimes might be 1 or 2 instances, might be you know, by accident, but for the most part he just is not interested to put enough in to be able to avoid the high tackles, because he gets away with it. He still fights with everyone, and then at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, it goes all the way to a judicial board and he still gets away with it. World Rugby, you are setting a precedent here, and you know, the sad thing about this, even though the precedent is set, we know you're not going to stick by it. So I'm just shocked by this decision. But anyway, let me just show you some videos. Farrell in the past. So this is against South Africa. Check this out. Andre Estrazen comes running up. Boom. Now you tell me that's not intentional. You tell me that's not intentional. It was 80 minutes into the game. That should have been a penalty and South Africa should have won that game. Watch that again. No arms, no wrapping, and you cannot tell me that is not deliberate. That's for a fact a deliberate tackle. Why you do something like that when your team is 1 point ahead, I don't know. But there's no ways that he had any intention of tackling Estrazen in that game, and it reeks of just arrogance to me. That's really what I think. Let's go look at the next one.
Here he goes again.
So Saracens versus Wasps. I mean, what I also don't get, look how he always lifts his arms after he's done it, like he's sorry. Oh, sorry. Every single time he does that.
Significant bearing on the next few
he likes to play the victim afterwards and say, oh, I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
Been shown the red card.
Now, granted, there might be some technique issues there, but I mean, maybe that one wasn't intentional. But for many, it looks super intentional. Look at this one. He knew that Australia was going to score. That is so intentional. So intentional. And guys, on all these games, you can see the score is super close. 3 minutes in this game.
It's an amazing.
I mean, look at that.
And if that's a penalty,
it's just a shoulder charge.
Players have seen that.
To me, that just looks like a player that knows he's too small to tackle the guy. And guys, I'm just telling you guys as it is. I think in that guy's mind, he's like, I'm not going to stop this guy, so let me just shoulder charge him, and you know, I'll deal with the consequences. I'm doing this for England. But I mean, the repercussions is just every single time. Michael Checker after this game was complaining about this and how the refs just look past these things. Let's look at some more. And then you tell me if you still think it was fair decision for all of you that think it's fair.
Is this where Farrell did? Oh,
I mean,
how have they not looked at that?
No attempt.
Willis.
No attempt there to wrap. Maybe in a way, but driving up into the guy's face. He's just purely telling me over and over, has this guy ever given a decent low tackle? It's like he's always going in high and he's always getting away with it, and he keeps pushing the boundaries. Let's watch this one. Now you tell me that's not intentional. Watch this nicely. Intentional. No wrapping. You're telling me this guy is not out to shoulder charge players. You know, I know the likes of a Butch James in his day also had an issue with this, but you'd always see try something. I just feel Farrell does not try at all. Like on some of these clips, you can just clearly see that the guy's just literally going in for the shoulder charge. Let's look at this one. This is the one that's in question now with Wales, where he's basically been given 0 suspension, which is absolute garbage if you look at the laws. And I'll show you guys the laws in just a minute.
Predictable. Well, there's something here. We've got a television match official call. Let's see. Focus on what they're looking at.
Waiting for you.
It's Brian McNeice who's been called into action again.
White number. Can you give us number, please? All right.
Watch this. totally a shoulder. It's an intentional shoulder in my opinion.
So let's see.
Or it's just the laziness to go down for the
So
tackle.
that's the minimum of the yellow card and goes for a field review, right?
So there is
So
the indication.
what I don't like is afterwards, watch him, how he's fighting with the guys.
Review officer,
So they
who will now have 8 minutes.
They say that happened means Jamie George pushed him into his shoulder.
Card threshold.
I mean, come on, give me a break. And then wanting to fight with Dan Bigger,
To a red.
like you are not in the wrong.
Big
So guys, what I don't like about that is it's like he's afterwards acting like he's not in the wrong. He's fighting his case and he's like, you know what? I just don't understand how this guy gets away with what he gets away with. It's just shocking. So Jamie George changed the direction and that's why he hit him with the shoulder. It doesn't matter. Why is his shoulder up there? He was going in for the tackle, clearly. If you get the right guys to defend you, you can get away with murder. And we know it's happened more than once. Now, to me, Owen Farrell is a guy that gets away with murder. This is absolute garbage from a point of view of a rugby fan where everyone says we want to protect the players. We're putting in all these laws to protect the players, but then have double standards when your boy is the guy that causes the foul. And sorry I say your boy because I don't understand how World Rugby is connected to England, but somehow it seems like this guy's getting a pardon for some reason. Anyway, let's look at some more. I wanted to show you this one. This is Lapis Labiskachny. It's a South African player that plays for Japan now. So he's a Japanese player now. He got 2 weeks. He got a red card in 2 weeks for this tackle where he still attempted to wrap. Now look at this. He definitely attempted to wrap and bounced off, and he was a little bit high in his posture. But he attempted to wrap and he gets 2 weeks. And yet you'd expect the minimum for Farrell to be 2 weeks. It would have been 6 weeks for the high tackle, right? But because they have the argument of the direction being changed by Jamie George, yes, then maybe mitigated down to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But 0? Something's fishy. Lapis Labiskachny going in and knocking him accidentally, barely touching his head. He's wrapping, he holds on to the player. Just watch that over and over. Look there. He wraps around the player. It's actually not a bad tackle, and I would almost say that is totally unfair. He should not be getting any card for that. But he gets 2 weeks. The injustice, guys. Honestly. And I don't often want to get on my soapbox. I see many decisions, and I've got a platform here to complain about everything. This is in the name of rugby. In the name of the sport, we all have to say, guys, come on. Questions, you know. And then if we look, I'm just going to put it up there on the screen. This is the judicial board or the World Rugby Board. I don't know who makes what decisions, but I wanted to see what nationalities the players are or the people on this board are. And as you can see there, it's actually the chairs from USA. Then you've got pretty much from every country, kind of 1 or 2 people. Something's not right here, guys. Or what's happening that you tell me all those nationalities from all those countries and all those guys that's supposed to be ex-lawyers and ex-rugby players, all or most of them agree. I don't know. Okay, so now you'll say, oh, but hold on, the laws. Let's look at the laws. Let's look at the laws. Hold on, let's do that. What is a no-arms tackle? No arms, failing to use arms in a tackle, and is also known as a shoulder charge. This leads with their shoulder. They lead with their shoulder, and the arms don't form part of the collision. They do not wrap, right? Isn't that exactly what Farrell did? Player must do anything that is reckless or dangerous, right? Low end 2 weeks, 6 weeks for mid-range, even more. This was reckless and dangerous. Okay, next one. So here we go. A player must not tackle an opponent early, late, or dangerously. Dangerous tackling includes, but is not limited to, tackling or attempting to tackle an opponent above the line of the shoulders. That's what he did. If the tackle starts below the line of the shoulders, that's even if it starts below. So it doesn't matter where you start, it's still where you're going to end. 2 weeks up. So how many transgressions have we got here now? And look at the top there. Note, any act of foul play which results in contact with the head, which happened in this case, that didn't even happen with Lapis Labuschagne, or the neck, shall result in at least a mid-range sanction. Shall result. It doesn't say it's going to go to a board and be challenged. It shall result in a mid-range sanction, which is 6 weeks. So, who's fooling who here, guys? Who's fooling who? Then they say, note, where a player receives a mid-range or a top-end sanction, a disciplinary committee and judicial officer appeal officer may, at its discretion, agree that 1 week of that sanction might be replaced by a coaching intervention. Okay, so is that what happened? Did he get 6 weeks, reduced to 5 with a coaching intervention to teach him how to tackle, which he hasn't been able to learn in how many years? Anyway, guys, I was on my soapbox there. If this is the precedent that's been set at the moment, oh boy, we're going to have a frustrating World Cup, because now it kind of gives me the idea that certain teams are being given better treatment than other teams. Now, in the World Cup, if this happens, and that changes a game around, for someone to fall out of a World Cup because of a poor decision like this, it's just, guys, it's unacceptable. And I don't know what else does World Rugby need. They now have a bunker system where they can review stuff 500 times. They have committees. They have how many referees on the field. They've got TMOs. What else do we have to do for people just to use logic and to follow the rules? I just read out the rules. There's absolutely no scenario there where he was allowed to get off here with no suspension at all. The only scenario I can think of is because we know we need him for England in the World Cup. This is the only reason. There's no rule there that says he should come off, you know, scot-free or England-free. You have to be unbiased. This is not what this channel is about. I'm not unbiased. I am totally biased to what is right. I'm not biased to my team. I'm biased to what is right for rugby, and I'm biased to good rugby, fair rugby, and I will always promote any team that plays good rugby. It doesn't have to be the Springboks or the All Blacks. It could be any team. If they play well, I'll take my hat off and say well done. But when there's inconsistencies in the game and there's certain things that needs to be questioned, I'm going to tell it as it is. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button below. I'll have more of these coming in the future, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for listening to me on my soapbox. Cheers. Bye.